YouTube, welcome back to another video. Today I'm gonna get into how to lay down hard drums, so get right into it. Before we get into the video, bro, my rookie season drum kit has been out for a little minute now, and all the feedback that I've gotten from the kit so far has been extremely positive. So if you ain't had the chance to cop the kit yet, make sure to get it. First link in the description. Get it. So I already pre-made the melody to save some time. We're gonna get into the drums later, lay down some drums, but I'm gonna deconstruct the melody first. So for the melody, I start out with Keyscape right here. I used the LA Custom CS7 softest preset, and I turned off the reverb right here. So I laid the main melody down in D minor, and I start out in 152 BPM. So I just started out with this melody right here. Put the root note down right here on the D4 and on the D5. And next, following the scale, I just laid down this A and this A sharp right here, and this E and this F. And both these notes and these notes are like directly next to each other in the scale. And that creates a lot of tension. I've told y'all this plenty of times before. If y'all trying to make dark melodies, make sure to like lay down half steps right here, like from the A to A sharp. So yeah, that adds a lot of tension, makes it sound dark like already off the rip. So I just spaced these out a little bit until something sounded good. Then I also added a little D once again right here. That's what I started out with, just to get like a basic rhythm going. So next I basically just copied that over like 4 times right there. Then I cut the note right here, moved it down to A sharp just to kind of change up the root note, make it sound a bit like different. Then I just copied it over in a whole octave right there just to add some low into the melody. And once again added a D note at the bottom right here. And that by itself sounds like this. So next I was still missing some high end in the melody, so I added this top melody right here. So the way I did that is I just listened to this melody right here and just like kind of imagine what notes I heard on the melody, and whatever notes would like fit on the melody, if that makes sense. So then I just spaced them out and created like a rhythm on top. Also turned down the velocities a bunch right here, as you can see. Then I just copied it over with the top notes to sound like this. And that basically just adds a rhythm on top of the melody we already had laid down right here. Kind of complements it in a way. So for the effects on the piano, just start out with the basic EQ, cutting out the low mids and boosting some of the high mids, just to kind of make the piano sound a lot clearer. Then I add the basic Valhalla vintage verb, turned the pre-delay down to like 10 milliseconds, turned the decay to like 3. Next I messed with the low cut right here, so the low end of the melody didn't get too muddy. And lastly I just turned the mix down to like 68% right here. The piano by itself still sounded a bit dry to me, so what I did is I just copied the MIDI over right here. I just copied it straight over into a new instance of Keyscape. And the preset I used for that was the LA Custom Warm preset. I didn't do anything with the knobs or like the effects on it. Also took the bottom notes out to kind of make it less muddy in the low end. And that just adds another layer to like the piano, just kind of fills it up, makes it sound a lot better. So the piano and the Rhodes together sound like this. That just complements the piano very well. So for the effects on the Rhodes, start out with the EQ once again, cutting some of the low mids out, boost some of the high mids just to make it sound a lot clearer. Next I went to Shaper Box right here, used the pan preset, put it to 2 bars so it kind of goes from left to right, and I turned the mix down to 35%. Next I kind of wanted the Rhodes to sound like vintage, so I went to RC20, put some noise on it, some wobble and distortion, the Vinyl 3 preset right here. And also messed with the knobs a bit just to kind of blend it in with the Rhodes better instead of just using the stock preset. So when I had that added to the Rhodes, went to Valhalla Vintage Verb again, used the same preset and just copied it over from the piano to the Rhodes. And then lastly, to kind of take some muddiness out, I just cut the lows out using a high pass filter. And the way you add the high pass filter is you go to type right here, go to high pass, and that way all the low end gets cut out instead of just doing it this way, just opening the EQ and just taking it out like that. But what this does, it basically just lowers the frequencies instead of doing it like this, which cuts everything out under like 200 hertz, whatever you set it to. So in my opinion, this way is way better than doing it this way, which I see a lot of people do. So next, I wanted to add some low into the melody, so I went to Contact and I went into the Scarby Rickenbacker bass, and I used the Neck Pure preset right here. And I basically just followed the root notes right here. I made it go up to A sharp right here. What I did is I cut this note up and moved it up an octave, just to kind of add some variety to the bass. With the piano and the sub bass, sounds like this together. So it just follows the root notes, really nothing crazy. For the effects on that, I just put an EQ on it, basically boosting some of the lows, boosting some of the mids, once again to make it sound a bit more clear, and also put the bass in mono, of course. Next, I went into Contact again, used the Spitfire solo violin to kind of add a counter melody to it, kind of add a top melody to the melody we already had. But then what I did is I listened to the piano and kind of like imagined, kind of like thought of what notes would sound good on top of the piano, and I ended up with this melody right here. So I just kind of imagined what sounded good with the piano and just experimented until something like came out fire. So for the effects on that, I just cut some of the harsh frequencies out, the low mids right here. Once again, use the high pass just to cut some of the the sub lows out. And then once again, just add the same reverb Valhalla Vintage Verb preset just to kind of make it blend in with the piano and the Rhodes a bit better. And then lastly, I just wanted to add like one more melody, one more like background melody to kind of take out in the verse or something. So I went into Analog Lab and I went into the classic synth pad section. And I picked the virus preset right here. And once again, I just copied over the MIDI and just copied it in Analog Lab. Took the root notes out, took the top melody out, and that by itself sounds like this. So next what I did is I rendered that out and I put it in a Fruity Slicer. Turned the attack and the decay up a bit so it's not like too snappy and you got no clicks going on. Then I rendered that out again. And that's what this sounds like with the piano. So I just added that to kind of complement the piano a bit. For the effects on that, once again, start out with the EQ, cutting the lows out right here. Next, I went to Shaper Box, went to the volume preset and put it on 1 bar so it kind of fades in like every bar, kind of side chains it. Put the mix down to like 40%. Added Fruity Chorus, turned that mix down a bit too, and once again just added the same Valhalla Vintage Verb to kind of blend in with the other melodies we already had laid down. So next what I did is I rendered every single like individual instrument out and I structured it for a loop, put the stems at the end, and I just rendered it out. So yeah, let's get into the drums now. So once again, all the drum samples I'm going to be using are from my rookie season drum kit, so let's lay some drums down. pretty much it. That's how you lay down hard drums. I hope y'all learned something from this video, man. Make sure to let me know in the comments what y'all trying to see next. Don't forget to subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and check out my Drumkit, of course. I'm gonna catch y'all in this video.